So this week, one of the topics we're going to be discussing is making the transition into higher education. So this is something that students often find is somewhat of a challenge, especially during that first semester of college, or even students that are coming back after taking perhaps a gap year or many years, so to speak. So oftentimes they find themselves feeling overwhelmed and unprepared. So with a little preparation, that can definitely help to make sure that you have a successful switch into college life or back into college life. And the reality is there really isn't a right or wrong way to make this transition a smooth one. We're all coming from different backgrounds, different learning environments, and we find that we all are able to adapt or struggle with that adaptation in different ways. So today we're going to explore some things that you can do now to help make your transition a smooth one. So the first one is taking control of your education. So one of the biggest differences between high school and college is that there's no one standing over you telling you what you need to do. Your parents and guardians aren't standing over you, your teachers, your vice principals, your counselors. No one's calling home, no one's saying, so-and-so has not showed up for class in 3 weeks or logged online in a week. No one's doing that. So logging into your online class, attending class, doing your homework, that's all up to you. So in high school, I think many of us would agree that a lot of the decisions were made by other people for us, right? So people were telling us where to go, what we should do, what classes we should take, how we should be studying, what we can do better. Now all of it is up to you. You will be making the educational choices that are going to best suit you. So number 2, creating your own support system. So be assertive. It's super important that you are seeking help when you realize that you may need it. You need to take care of yourself. Sometimes it's even wise to ask for help even before you need it. So that way, by knowing the resources that are available to you on campus at your college that you're attending, that can be super valuable to you guys. So if you're asking friends for help, that can be one way. Seeking out a tutor, whether face-to-face or online. Again, we have so many different resources available to you. Go to office hours. That's another one that you would want to do and make sure that you're taking part in. So in our online class, we can meet face-to-face through our Confer Now feature, which is our video conferencing. And if you have classes on campus, go to those teachers' office hours. It's the best thing you can do. Never be afraid to ask for help and utilize those campus resources. Okay, number 3, probably one of my favorite ones. Get to know your professors. They truly are, I would say, definitely your single greatest resource. So not only are we here to help you get through class, are we here to help answer questions, make sure you're doing everything you're supposed to do. We're also here as a valuable tool in terms of getting connected to the department that you're taking a class in. Potential careers. We write letters of reference all the time for scholarships, applications, internships, any of that. So it's a huge, huge benefit if you stay in contact and communicate with your professors. And for me, communication is huge. I think I've written that in several places. Talk to me. If you've got a concern or you need help, let me know. And then, of course, take advantage of all of the different student support services, which I kind of mentioned earlier. So the Academic Achievement Center, you can get tutoring. They offer student success workshops during the regular school year, fall and spring. How to write, your tips with writing your scholarship application, how to fill out the FAFSA, any of that, study skills. They have a ton of different workshops. We also have a math lab to help you with your math if you're struggling. Student ambassadors are a great resource to help you kind of navigate the waters and figure out, how to get through things. Okay, so a few more tips. You definitely want to plan ahead so that you're ensuring that you're meeting those academic goals. So make sure that you are meeting with a counselor. You definitely want to develop an ed plan early. That's actually one of the requirements for this class, is to sit down with a counselor and develop an ed plan. Now that may change, and I've had students in previous semesters that have said, oh, I have an ed plan, but it's totally changed. That's all right. Revise those ed plans. That is okay. And when you meet with your counselor, come with a list of questions, because you all know that feeling when you've met with someone and the second you leave, oh, I forgot to ask this. Review our course catalog, our Columbia College catalog. Remember to register for for your classes. When you get that date and time, make sure that you register for that. The earlier you register, the more likely you're going to get the classes that you want. And with that said, make sure you have a few backup classes as well, because sometimes classes do get full and professors, instructors, for whatever reason, they can't take you onto their wait list. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. So make thoughtful course decisions. Make sure that you are taking courses that are best for the best for your academic goals. So certainly, it's important that if you really are unsure what you want to do, that you are exploring different options, but don't take a course if you have zero interest in it, and your friend's taking it and you're just going to take it, for whatever reason. So make thoughtful course decisions. Make sure that you're slowly working up to those harder classes. That first semester of college or jumping back into higher education, don't give yourself several lab classes and try and figure it all out and think it's going to be easy and work for you. So do what's best for you. Got to remember, college courses require more time and a lot more effort than high school classes. So this also means that you want to create a schedule that's going to work best for you. When are you most alert? Does a Friday 8 a.m. math class really seem like a good idea? Maybe you can, sustain it for a few weeks, but for 14 weeks, are you going to be up Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m. math class? And I say that from experience because I did that and it was a disaster when I first started college, my first semester. It sounded like a good idea and it wasn't. So maybe the online classroom is a better environment for you. You're busy, you're working, you've got a family, you have a million different things. You can't get to campus when you'd like. So online classes might be what's best for you. Also, how many students are in the class that you're taking? You want to consider the class size. Do you want a class where there's maybe 20 students to one professor, or do you want to be in a huge lecture hall with, 100, 150 students? So keep those things in mind too. All right. Oh, and super important, do not ever drop a course just because, or you haven't logged in. At least for me, if you haven't logged in a couple of weeks, reach out to me. More than likely, I probably will have reached out to you. But do not just drop a class just because. You want to talk with the professor, talk with the counselor, because not only could it take you off track for your academic plans and goals, but it also could affect your financial aid. So it's super important that you're talking to different people. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. Talk with us so we can make sure that you dropping that class is what's best for your long-term goals. And then you want to think beyond the moment, set goals for the semester, for the year, for your entire academic career. You want to set a goal and identify what it is you're wanting to achieve. So in a few weeks, we're going to talk more about goal setting. Motivation, it comes from within and going after something that you want. That's what's going to keep you motivated. You want to make a plan of action once you've identified that goal. Figure out what it's going to take to meet that goal. Have effective plans of action and timelines so that you can monitor how you're progressing towards meeting that goal. And then you want to make sure that you're following and adhering to that plan that you've set. If you need to modify plans along the way, that's okay. Adjust dates, timelines, goals. Maybe things completely change. You have a career change or a major change. That's okay. But it's important to have goals and figuring out how to actually attain them. Okay, so the next 5 slides are going to provide you with some specific differences between high school and college. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on each slide. I'm going to go ahead and press pause. All right, so these slides are going to help you with your discussion for this week. So if you look at this, it's telling you following the rules in high school versus choosing responsibility. So again, most of your classes are arranged for you. You're arranging your own classes in college. You can count on parents and teachers to remind you of your responsibilities, whereas now in college, it's completely up to you to balance those and set your own priorities. Going to high school classes and succeeding in college classes. This is a huge one. In high school, generally classes, they don't have any more than 35 students, whereas in college, college campuses do usually and often have lectures of 100 students or more. Typically, Columbia's a little less. We're a little smaller campus, but just to kind of keep that in mind. Also, you need to make sure that you are studying outside of class time, 2 to 3 hours for each hour expected to be spent in class. So again, the stakes are a lot higher. There's a lot more expectations in college. All right. And then when there are assignments or reading or things like that that are assigned to you, a lot of times your instructors or professors, they're not going to, really reteach that material to you in class. They're just going to expect that you've read it, and if you've got questions, you've reached out to them. Oh, this is another big one. So just teachers versus college professors and instructors. In high school, checking your homework, making sure you've turned in all of your missed work, sending home deficiency notices, semester grades, quarter report cards, all that stuff. Not in college. So some professors never check homework. They expect you and want you to attend their office hours if you've got questions. They want you to, they're not going to always remind you, again, of the missed work or things that you need to do, even things that are upcoming. So you want to make sure that when you get that syllabus, you're looking at it and you're making sure you're following it. If things have changed or it seems like something's a little off the mark, just check with your professor. Tests in high school versus college. Okay. Again, makeup tests are often available in high school, not so much in college. All right. A lot of review sessions in high school. And again, maybe you'll get a study guide, maybe not, but rarely they offer review sessions. Grades in high school versus grades in college. So most assignments in high school you received a grade for, not the case in college. In high school, you also graduate if you earn a D or higher, technically, in your classes, at least for most California high schools. Whereas in college, depending on what your major is, you may need to maintain a 2.0 or higher GPA. That could be a department standard. Okay, so again, transitioning to college, if you know what to expect and you know how to handle potential obstacles, you will be much more prepared. I'm not going to say it's going to be perfect if you follow these things, but it'll certainly help you to feel more prepared, like you've kind of got a handle on things. You know what to expect. And if problems do arise, then you know where to go or who to talk to. All right, talk to you soon.